Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Jamie, the Worcestershire cabinet maker, and I just want to chat to you about chisels, about a set of chisels, rare chisels made in 1986-87 by Marples. They were owned by Record at the time, so it was Record Marples, and they were having their last attempt at trying to get back to the old days, about trying to improve the quality, getting the chisels back to where they needed to be. What was happening at the time was there was a reasonable influx in Japanese tools coming into the UK. And from 84, 85, and Record's response to that was to produce the gold chip chisels. In 1987, the best hardware store near me was on the High Street in Cradley Heath, and they were a great hardware store. It's one of the best hardware stores. And what they did was they stocked loads and loads of different tools, and every now and then they would come out with this fabulous catalogue with all sorts of pieces in. But this one time they came out with these, and these were the gold chip rosewood bevel edge chisels. They did also a boxwood bevel edge gold chip. They were a little bit cheaper, but the rosewood ones were the Rolls Royce. They were the best ones. And when you compare them in price, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about high carbon steel blades, rosewood handles, brass ferrules, traditionally made. Fantastic. They really were fantastic. So let's just go over here. If we go over here to this Carver's set of ash bevel edge chisels, they were, for a set of 5, they were £21.39. If we come down to the rosewoods for the set of 5, they were £48.82. And if we come to the set of 6, it was £62. But the problem with the set of 6 was the fact that they'd still got 3 individual ones. The 1/8, the 5/8, and the 1.5 inch that weren't in the set of 6. So I'd recently got myself a new job. I was doing well, and I decided that I was going to buy that set of chisels. And here they are. I've still got the box. I don't keep them in the box. I've just put them in the box to show you this is what they came in. This is how they looked. There's the Marples. What does it say? Rosewood handle bevel edge chisel set. And here's the thing. Here's what you want to see. The Record Marples, made by Record Marples, and this is the catalogue number, and it's got the S6. So it's a set of 6. There you go. And they were a lot of money. And this is what you got. So please don't think they normally look like this. I've just dusted it out. I've just put them back in here, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, some of these still haven't been sharpened. So if you look at this one, it's not been sharpened. The back is like new still. And the reason for that is because I'd got other chisels that I wanted to wear out first, and I was just like, well, I'll wear these chisels out before I start on my Marples. But some of these have been sharpened, like this 19mm, and it's got a polished back. The 1.25 inch hasn't been. This 1/2 inch one, again, polished back. You can see that. So, as I say, the problem with this set of 6 was there were 3 missing. So I bought the other 3 that were missing. From there, and in the middle there, I bought the ones that didn't come in a set of 9, and they should have done a set of 9. They really should. Right, so that's that. I've got to tell you, the high carbon steel is brilliant. They keep their edge. They don't take too much sharpening. They hold their edge for a long time. They're just a pleasure to use. The handle's just right. The ferrules, we've had some issues with the ferrules in the past. The ferrules used to have this dimple. And the problem with the dimple is on occasions these would split. There you go, there's one that's split. This is a mistake by Marples. They really shouldn't have done it. Slight bit of damp gets near these, the rosewood expands, and then it breaks the ferrule. I've replaced a couple of mine, That's been replaced, that's been replaced, that's been replaced, that's original, that's original, that's original. That one's been replaced, that's been replaced, and the 1.5 inch hasn't broken. If I were to replace these chisels now, the only way I would replace these chisels now is by buying a nice set of Japanese chisels. And these 6 chisels would have to I would have to sell these for £400 to £500 to be able to replace them. So they're expensive then, they're rare and very expensive now. I wouldn't let these things go. And as a set of 9, yeah, you could be looking at £700 or £800 worth, even, and the fact that I've still got the catalogue and I've still got the receipt of the bill of sale. So that's that. It's not bad, is it? Box looks great. I mean, they really did go to town. So lately you've been watching some of my videos, and in that video you will have seen me sorting out the back of another one of these chisels. So this is, and you can see the reflection. There you go. That's the back of the 1 inch chisel, and it's looking great. It's really tidied up. I've not done the handles yet, but what I'm showing you now is I managed to get a set of 5. So now this set of 5 is going to be cleaned up. They're going to be sorted out. That one's been done. Oh, this is something. This is a tip. You should make one of these. You should make one of those. It is the way to store your chisels for a bit. So that one's been done. And these are just done in those few minutes between students come in, students go in, having a cup of tea, all sorts. Now what I want to show you now is one of the ones that needs restoring. This hasn't been done yet. And this has been the problem. The problem with these chisels, they were in an age where people were still using oil stones, and if you see that little bit on the end, that isn't very flat. So these old boys would buy these things up, the only ones that could afford them, except for me, I was lucky at the time, and they'd sharpen them and ruin the back. So please go back and look at my other 2 videos on sharpening these things. That one was horrendous, and it's still got a little tiny bit on the corner it'll wear in. So that's that one. So that one needs doing. I've recently done this one just because one of the guys of the day was doing some stuff, and I thought, well, I'll get one of mine done, and I've not done this one. As you can see as well, the other thing to notice is in my set of 6, they came with blue. That was 1987, and these grey ones were about 1988. The other difference is on the handles on these. There you go, you can just see it. On the handles on these, that's better. The Marples logo was very different. It was more traditional than the one in 86, 87. That was more like 88. It was a year later when they went to grey. So this one needs doing, and this one needs doing, and they need tidying up. But I've got the box, and they're great. It's great to have them in the box. The story behind these they're from an old boy that used them quite often, but they were cared for, and he did put them back in the box, a bit like me, every now and then, putting them back in the box to keep them in good condition. So this is my chisel restoration. Obviously those are great, they don't need anything doing to them. These 2 will get the backs polished, they'll get the sides sorted, and then when they're all looking pretty good up to the ferrules, which you'll have seen on the previous video about chisel restoration, I'll then come to the handles, carefully take off this paint, try and leave the Marples water slide on there. I'd love some of those water slides, so if you know anyone who does water slides, it'd be great if I could get some of these traditional Marples ones. I will be sharpening them up, and in the next video what I will be doing is I will be cleaning up the rust on these collars, which I think is from these boxes. If you look in here, there's rust on the bottom of there, and there's rust over there in 2 places. So if you come to this, there's rust in 2 places, there and there. So I think it just got a little bit damp, a little bit of moisture got into here, and it's caused the rust on there. So that will all get cleaned up, and then they will be going, and then they will probably be for sale. So if you're interested, message me. They will be for sale at some point. They're not going to be cheap, because they are such a piece of history. Record marples ceased to exist not long after that, and the chances of you picking up a set of chisels like this is getting rarer and rarer. If you're interested, message me and we can discuss, but they will be finished before I let them go up for sale, so there's a bit to do yet, and it's only a bit at a time. Right, thanks for watching.